Hey y'all, it's Base Kato and I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I did want to do a chit chat talking about why I don't really like working in the finance industry anymore. Growing up, I had a different perception on the finance industry, and it's like now that I'm actually working in it and I've been working in the finance industry for a few years, I'm like, I see why people leave the finance industry. So yeah, if you want to know why I don't really like working in the finance industry anymore, then definitely keep on watching. Let's go ahead and roll the intro and then we can get into the video. Alright y'all, so let's rewind back a little bit. So growing up, I was under the impression that like bankers, stockbrokers were like super rich. Like I thought they were millionaires, and of course like there definitely are millionaire bankers and stockbrokers, of course, but I mean, I'm gonna get into it, y'all. So I started working in this brokerage firm in September 2020 as a financial services representative, and I low-key was bamboozled, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know what I expected the job to be. Like I thought it was gonna be like how it is in the movies. I thought I was gonna be actually doing research on stocks and, you know, looking at people's accounts and trading for them, but no, that was not the case, y'all. This was nothing but a call center type job for real, because the moment I would clock in and turn on my system to like ready to take a call at 9:15, I would get a call back to back. And matter of fact, at this job, you can see like the cue board of like how many callers are in line for each department, y'all. And it would show the wait times too. So normally we would have at least 200 something callers waiting, and our wait times would be like 3-4 hours long. So that's how you know the calls are like back to back. And it's like, I don't understand, because this brokerage firm did have a lot of workers, but I think they just had a lot of turnover because it just sucked working there. That was one of them, having to have back-to-back calls. And the thing is, as a financial services representative at this particular firm, I don't know if this is every firm, but this particular firm, it's like you're supposed to be the jack of all trades in that role. And it's just like, no, this is not, I'm not a tech support person. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Like I thought I would just be assisting people with placing trades, but most of the time people will be calling in because they're having issues with like the online platforms, because we had like 2 or 3 online platforms. All of them sucked, and it was so annoying too, because for training they never actually trained us on actually how to use the online platforms. They just told us that these online platforms are available for like users to play around with and stuff, or, you know, trade on. So we will always get calls where people don't know how to use the platforms. We would get calls because people don't know how to trade. Like people will have like regular trading accounts. It's like if you place 3 day trades in a rolling 5 business day period or something like that, once you hit that 4th trade, you're automatically flagged as a pattern day trader. And when you're flagged as a pattern day trader, your account value, it's like it can't go below $25,000. So a lot of these people who are new traders that had $10 in their account, they placed all these damn trades and now they owe us like $25,000. So I would always have to deal with calls like that and have to explain to people how they ended up in this mess, how to get out of it. Y'all, these calls were so long. And then the thing is, like, we would have to be teachers too. Like, that would annoy me so much, y'all, because it's just like, I'm not a teacher. Like, you should know how to trade. I'm here to help you if like you need me to place a trade or something like that. Which, speaking of that, I started the job in September 2020. After training ended, I was on the phones from basically December 2020 up until March 2021. After March 2021, we were off the phones for a little bit, like me and my crew that I started with, because we had to go back and get our Series 7 and 63. So once we got our Series 7 and 63, that's when we could actually like place trades for people over the phone. So there was a period of time where all I could do was like password resets or help with people's debit, credit card issues and stuff like that. But if people wanted to place a trade, it's like I had to transfer them to another department, which that would take like another hour for them to place a trade. So I never really understood this company's phone efficient. Like, the phones just suck. But yeah, so after I passed my Series 7 and 63, that's when I could actually place trades for people. So here's the other thing that annoyed me when people would call in. This platform or this company that I work for, I mean, it's a public, very known, popular brokerage firm. They have a website, apps, this, that, and the third. It's easy to place a trade, but you know, there's always those people that still want to do it like how it was in the old school days, where you have to like call in and place a trade for everything. That's what some people do still. They would get so mad whenever they would call in, because if we have to place a trade for you, we do have to charge you a $25 broker assist fee for each trade. And people will always want us to like waive that fee and stuff. It's just like, no, like, we're not gonna waive that fee. Like, you're making us do extra work when you can just do this on your own. And I get, like, you know, some people aren't as tech savvy, but it's just like, bro, you have like almost $1 million in this account. It's $25, like, come on. So clients would just be so rude. Like, oh my God, like, that's the thing about working in finance. I mean, no one's gonna be nice if you're like playing with their money. Like, let's be real. So you do have to have thick skin. Working at a brokerage firm is equivalent to working at Walmart, like before Walmart wasn't like 24 hours anymore, because their hours suck, especially if you just started. The pay sucks because there's some people who are working at Target that are getting paid more than me, and it's just like, I could just work at Target, you know? So it's something to think about. And then also too, at that brokerage firm I worked at, it's like there wasn't really any room to like move up. It's like once you're a financial services representative, it's like you really just stay there, which kind of sucks. I mean, you can move up. There's some people who definitely have moved up, but it's hard, y'all. It's really hard because it's nothing but stats. Like, it's a stats type industry, which I get it, but that shit would be annoying. Like, I remember, so I first started off on this one team with this one manager, and he was cool. I loved that manager, but then he moved to a different team, so I had to move to a different manager. And this guy, he was a young guy, and actually this was his first team that he was managing. You know, that shit got to his head because he made a job that already sucked even more worse, y'all. So like I said, working for a brokerage firm, like, everything is about stats. I remember we couldn't have calls on hold for more than like, well, I was, okay, so my last manager said no calls on hold more than like 2 minutes. My new manager said no calls on hold for more than 30 seconds. And I'm like, 30 seconds is not enough time to like look up the shit that these people are usually asking for. This is the other stat too. So I remember my manager saying that he wanted the average call time to be 8 minutes or less. That's hard. That was actually so hard to reach, y'all, because first of all, when people call in, you gotta verify them, pull up the account. Most of the time they're screaming because they're mad, so that takes up 8 minutes already. Whenever you have to like place a trade at this place, which was stupid. So every time you had to place a trade, I would have to pull up the trade screen, put in the trade details and everything, and then I'd have to put the trade in our like Slack channel that we have, because the thing is, I could never place a trade without getting manager approval. So it's just like, what's the point? Because half the time I would be sitting there waiting to place a trade for somebody. You know, stock prices are moving constantly. Like, what do you mean? So and it would be annoying because I would wait, get the trade approved finally, then I would come back to the customer and I would read them the current price, and maybe the current price either dropped down or went up a few cents, and now they're like, oh, I want that price. I remember a customer did that to me, and like he got really pissed off and like wanted to speak to a manager because he couldn't understand why we couldn't just place the trade right away, which I'm saying the same thing. So that shit would just be so annoying, y'all. And then also too, with working in the finance industry, it's like certain stocks and stuff you just can't invest in. You can't invest in real estate. If you're getting income from elsewhere, you do have to report that to your company, and they'll either approve you to like continue to work there or continue to, you know, receive income from wherever, or they may tell you to stop. That shit is annoying. It's just like annoying too, seeing people make like a lot of money on something that you knew was gonna shoot up, but you can't invest in because of your job. Like, I remember actually this one guy, he invested in some type of like marijuana stock, and it shot up like crazy. So he ended up making a lot of money. Like, I mean, at least a good $20,000. And he told me that apparently somebody on like the oversight team noticed that and told him that he had to sell his shares of that stock. He had to give up that money because he wasn't allowed to be invested in that stock in the first place. I'm like, man, I just would have quit the job. I understand how, you know, from a business perspective, they say that that can become, you know, an issue of personal conflict, but I just don't like that, you know. But yeah, working in the finance industry, I just always thought that you would be making like hella money, like $200,000, $300,000, this, that, and the third. You could buy a house and, you know, whatever. But I mean, and it's like you probably definitely can, but you need a lot of experience underneath your belt, and that's kind of what I'm realizing. Working in the finance industry, I mean, it's cool, but I can see how a lot of people experience burnout and pursue other avenues, whether that's teaching finance. They may still be in finance, but they want to do something on their own terms. Because when you're working in the finance industry, like especially as a stockbroker, it's like you're nothing but a number, if that makes sense. You're literally just working in a call center, back-to-back calls. And honestly, like, I remember I would wake up every morning and like cry. Like, I would just cry so much, and then I would get on the computer and start working. That ish was a mess. I will say the only good thing that I got out of working there is that this was my first real job straight out of college. I was able to get my Series 763 and the securities industry exam for free. Like, they sponsored me, so I was able to obtain all of my licenses, and I got, you know, a little bit of experience before switching things. I will say I'm not a stockbroker anymore. Like I said, I'm an analyst, and I deal with mutual fund trading, so that's a lot more actually, that's way more chill than working with stocks. But anyways, y'all, those are just a few reasons why I feel like working in the finance industry, like low-key, I'm just not rocking with it, or I feel like I was bamboozled. But all right, you guys, so that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.